The intended use of this podcast is for entertainment purposes only. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the host and guests independently, and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Updog Challenge Incorporated, its sponsors, or any other partnered organizations. Updog Challenge Incorporated does not guarantee the accuracy or reliability of any opinions expressed. In no way should the information provided during the Sweet Spot and Updog podcast be considered veterinary, medical, legal, or professional advice. At all times, the advice of your personal professional should supersede any information provided, derived, or inferred from listening to this podcast.
Ready, set, go.
Welcome to the Sweet Spot, an Updog podcast. I'm Andrea Morissette.
And I'm Jack Bailey, and we are welcome today with a guest. Who is our guest, Dre?
Our guest is Daniel Bene. Give it up for Daniel.
Hello. Hi, Daniel.
Woo-woo. Who is this guy?
So Daniel is here today because he has created an amazing app that many of our Updoggers have started to use, found very valuable, and very recently, Daniel's put together a pretty substantial update of that app, and we want to kind of find out what the update's all about, why people should be using this app, and so on. But before we jump into that kind of stuff, Dre, what do we want to know about our guests besides all that good stuff?
I want to know about your dogs, and I want to know where you live and what club you play for, and maybe what your favorite Updog game is, and what your favorite hero. I don't know, that kind of stuff. So tell me about you.
So I live in Ackworth, Georgia, which, if you're not familiar with the Atlanta area, it depends on traffic. It can be 30, 45 minutes north of Atlanta. I have four dogs.
We should get together. I live in Chattanooga.
I know. I saw that you recently moved.
I had no idea. We're neighbors. I know where he lives. All right, you can go ahead now. We're neighbors.
There you go.
Pretty much at this point.
Yeah.
It probably can get to Chattanooga as quick as Atlanta. So
yeah, that's great.
We have four dogs. Two border collies. They both play frisbee, and my wife does agility. Our other two dogs, one of them is a cattle dog mix. She used to do agility, but she's retired now. She just turned 11 the other day. Actually the week of Thanksgiving, so not too
Happy
long.
birthday.
And then our third dog, he's a beagle mix. He was my first dog. His favorite sport is eating and sleeping. So he doesn't really do any sports. He's all about himself, but we love him just as much as the others because he's a special little guy.
Of course.
I've been playing Updog for 4 years now. So I've kind of gotten into a rhythm. Our two dogs, they've caught on pretty well. They're probably better than me at this point. I'm the one holding us back.
That's how it always is.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have two local clubs that we play at pretty often. One of them is the Forest City Sport Dogs over in Decula. And then the other one is the Happy DiscDoggers in Ball Ground.
All right, send me links to those clubs.
I will.
I'm gonna hit up those clubs and see if I can get to some of your events. That's cool. I didn't even know. I knew about the club in Decula, but I didn't know about the other one. So thank you for letting us know.
Yeah.
I only knew about Brightside. I don't know that they do a lot of Updog. I think that I think they do a little bit of Updog there, but I'm not sure.
What are you talking about?
Brightside is in that area too.
Oh, yeah. That's where Roe hosts.
Yeah, I think Roe is hosting the Updog events there. That's the only one I knew of the area. So that's cool. There's two more in the Atlanta area I didn't even know about.
Yeah, the one in Ball Ground, they mostly do the bike club events there. Sometimes we'll have like point only events hosted there occasionally through the year. But it's actually probably closer to you than Decula because it's kind of on the way to Chattanooga a little bit. So
good.
it might be a shorter drive for you.
Well, I look forward to some links because I definitely need to get some Updogging now that I'm in the Southeast.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
And a border collie guy, huh?
Yep. Yeah. Growing up, I never actually had dogs. So our Beagle mix was my first dog. I got him after I got out of college. And then when I met my wife, she was all about doing agility. She had our cattle dog mix, and she had always had a dream to get border collies. So I was like, at the time, I wasn't into dog sports or anything. I was just like, oh, okay, cool. You can have agility, do your thing. That's cool. And then we got our first border collie, Rise, and she was like, you should try frisbee with them. And I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. But if I'm going to do it, I want to practice a lot first because I don't want to go out there and not know what I'm doing. And then we went to our first event and it went pretty well for our first time being there. And ever since then, I was hooked.
Nice. Where, so was your first event there in Decula?
Yeah, yeah, it was.
That's
Okay,
cool.
great. Yeah, that's awesome. So, does your wife, being that she started in agility, does she like the crossover games?
So she recently she's been helping me practice. So we'll go in the backyard, we'll throw back and forth to work on my throws, my skills, and she's gotten a lot better at throwing, but she doesn't really play frisbee with them. She leaves that to me at this point. Um,
Gotcha.
Only Rise does the agility game, the crossover games right now. Theory doesn't. She mostly focuses on agility with her. And so she's trying to get her agility foundation set in agility before we start introducing her focusing on a frisbee and jumps at the same time because she will get very distracted and just go for the disc.
Yeah, because disc is better.
Yeah, it's a toy. She's getting a toy constantly, so she
Yep.
loves toys.
Well, thank you for letting us know a little bit about you, Daniel, and very cool to hear that Updog got you hooked on the sport and that you've had a good experience so far. And that's definitely made a difference for us because your talents have brought some really cool stuff to some of our players. So, Jack, you want to ask a little more about the app?
Yeah, absolutely. So, Daniel, first of all, obviously, you must have been looking at the team site and wishing that it would do more, that it would be able to give you some more data, or that data was more easily accessible and maybe viewed it easier on your phone. I don't know. You tell me, what was the impetus for like, hey, I need to do something here?
So I, like a lot of updoggers, have spreadsheets, and I was always tracking stats. And whenever new scores would officially get posted to the website, I'd log them and I'd start finding out, okay, what can I do with formulas to calculate my averages, all this kind of stuff. And one day I kind of got to the point where I was like, I'm kind of tired of waiting for them to appear on the website and I got to keep checking. And then when it's finally there, I got to go copy and paste it over. I was like, what if I could just have something that could automatically pull it in for me? And so I use Google Sheets a lot, and there is a formula in Google Sheets that can let you pull stuff from websites. So I was like, I'll give it a shot. What are the chances that it works with the Updog website?
Hmm.
And sure enough, it did. And so since then, I was like, oh, this is cool. So I had it pull in the whole chart of all my results, and I set up all my formulas. I was creating charts on there to see, like, watch your scores over time, how they've changed, and looking at things. You could go so far into stats and probably read way too much into it, but that's kind of where it started. And I was showing my wife, and she is very much not a spreadsheet person. She's not a computer, spreadsheet, anything like that person. So I probably bore her to death walking her through it all. But she was like, "You should turn it into an app." And I was like, I don't really know coding that well. Like, I know some, but not enough. I was just going to share the spreadsheet to everybody and let them use it on their own. Um, and then I was like, well, maybe I can find something that can turn a spreadsheet into an app. And that's where the first version was born. I found a program called AppSheet that lets you turn spreadsheets into apps. And so the first version that came out, it was pretty good, but you could only view one dog at a time and one game stats at a time. And every time you wanted to look at a new game or check out a new team, you had to pick them from the drop down and wait for it to load and refresh. And I kind of got aggravated with it, honestly, because I'm that kind of person with technology. I want it to work fast and I want it to work well, or else it's gonna make me frustrated. So I started working on version 2, which would allow you to view up to 10 teams and all the games at once. The only thing you'd have to change is if new data came in, it would have to load. And so I made that, and I was getting ready to put it out there through AppSheet again. And I kind of sat there one night when I was getting ready to start adding people, and I was like, I'd have to add each person manually. And at that point, I was up to like 300 users on the first version. So I was like, I've got to sit here and send all these invites one by one, duplicate the app every time. And I was just like, you know what? Before I go into that, let me try and see how hard is it to put together an app. And so earlier this year, instead of launching the official version 2 on AppSheet, I started building it into the real app that it is now that I just released about like a week or two ago.
Yeah, really
Yeah,
cool.
I was playing around with it today actually, as like Kat has had it on her phone, I think, ever since she found out about it, and which was playing around with it. And as you know, like Dre and I and the Updog team members don't have as much use for like the stats because we're not looking for how many points do I need to go to updiff and stuff like that.
Right.
But it's still cool to dig into like your averages and find out what achievements that you've done, made, and ups and things like that. So anyway, I was playing around with it today and it is really cool. I like that the nice part is I can like it's not just my team. Like I can have my team, Kat's team. If I had an interest in how Dre was doing, I could see, where she was. So like it could be a little bit of a little competitive nature too. Like I could just be like, oh, am I doing better than Dre? Let me check out what did she do last weekend or whatever. So it's got some cool features there that I think can make it engaging for people as well. Like not just your own stuff, but you can look at other people's data and like other teams with your dog on it and things like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just in
that
the
was.
time. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say that was kind of my ultimate goal with it was to put something together that would allow someone to quickly access all their stats more of an on-the-go setting. If I'm at home, I'm probably going to go on my computer, pull up the full UpDog site, look at everything, because there's a lot of stuff on the site that isn't in the app as well. But if I'm on the go, if I'm at an event, I was like, it's kind of hard to look at a spreadsheet when you're like spreadsheets on cell phones, just they don't mix very well. So I wanted something that I could view on the go and look at and be like, wow, okay, this is how many points I need in this game and just kind of create like a tool that people could really use at events.
Yeah, just in the time that you guys were talking, I added two teams to the app. I just wanted to play with it while we were chatting and see like how easy, because I had looked through the things, but I hadn't added any of my teams, and I was like, ooh, I can add a team. And just in that 2 minutes that we were talking, I added two teams. I looked up my team numbers, found the sheet, copied, pasted it in, and added the teams, and I got two teams in there now, and getting ready to look up my stats. So that's really cool. It was super easy to use.
Yeah, and luckily, the way the UpDog website is set up, it's
Yeah,
super easy to pull in
to
that
pull the
info.
data.
All it really needs is the team number. You can create any account you want with any email. It doesn't have to be associated with your UpDog account. You can, like you guys have said, you can add your competitors' teams if you want to keep up with a friend, if you want to maybe track someone else's scores and be like, I want to beat their scores one day. You can do that too.
Yeah,
Uh, really, the sky's the limit.
that's really cool.
Feel like maybe this says something about the security on our website,
I
but
was
we're not
I
going to
was
go
gonna say,
there.
well, we are planning on redoing our website, so we'll make it as user friendly as we can. But who knows if I don't know that we're gonna be having it all so easily available in the future. We'll make sure that it's still exportable, at least aggregatable. We can aggregate it somehow, get the data to you guys. But yeah, we heard that it's very, very easy to pull all of the data from the site right now. So for all those techie people out there that like pulling data, if you wanted to do your own kind of investigation and code pulling from whatever stats you wanted to play with, the code is available for you to collect data. But he's already done all the hard work. So now the app is available. This update is available on iOS and Android, right?
Yep.
I have an iPhone, so I downloaded it from my iPhone. But it says it's available for both. What do you think what's different other than that it's a more of a native app now, less of a spreadsheet? What do you think is different between version one and version two for anybody who maybe already checked out version one?
It's definitely a lot easier to use. Not as much downtime. You're not having to swap games, swap teams, anything like that. You can quickly go from team one to team two. So like I like to compare how my two dogs have been doing and see, okay, is Rise doing better in one game than Theory, or has Theory surpassed him in another? So you can quickly tab between them. There's some extra features in there that I wasn't able to include in some of the other versions. So one of the cool features, and I kind of use it at the beginning of the year before Fireball was officially added to the UpDog website, but you can record scores as you play. And then as you do that, so like let's say I go out to an event and I know I need like 100 points and spaced out or something like that. I know I need more points. And let's say I go out and I play and I get like a 95. Well, I can log that right there in the app. And then on the UpDiff qualification page, you can choose if you want to see your UpDiff qualifications with those recorded scores included to give you kind of a better idea of like, oh, look, I'm 5 points off of getting qualified. Maybe I do need to see if I can enter into the second round or, oh,
Yeah,
look, I'm fully qualified
That's
now.
really
Maybe
cool.
I can pass on the second round of this and add a second round of something else. So it's kind of a really nice tool in that sense. And then once those scores are officially added to your Updog stats, the app will recognize that and it won't double count the points on you. So you don't have to worry about, okay, I added 100 points here for spaced out and now it's on my official record. Now I've got 200 points. The app can recognize it and it'll not count that score twice.
very cool. That was what I was going to ask because I read about
Yeah.
that on the app. And then I was trying to read what would happen after the scores were updated. And for whatever reason on Kat's phone, it wouldn't let me scroll to read that part of it. So I was going to ask you that question. But that's great. That's perfect.
Yeah,
Super easy to use.
that was one of the big things that I was worried about is like, I don't want someone to get false information thinking, oh, look, I've got, 500 points in space out, I'm good to go. But it's just double
Right.
counting runs. So I make sure, and if you happen to be out there playing and the judge is like, doing their quick math and they're a couple points off and they're like, oh, you got a 95 and you log a 95, but the real results is 100. It doesn't matter what score you log. It just looks at the game name and the date you played it on
Mhm.
and it'll cross it off at that point. So even if you log the
Nice.
wrong score, you don't have to worry about it not counting it.
Very
Clever.
cool. Good logical thinking there, Daniel.
Yeah. Thought ahead. That's really cool. So, like, what do you do in life that allows you to
So
like do this
What do you
stuff?
do in life? Okay, that's
What
a
do you
good
do in
question.
life that in your spare time you're capable of pulling aggregate data from a website and making an app to share with all your friends?
my day job is marketing for a window and door replacement company.
Oh,
Uh, so I do a lot of stuff in spreadsheets. It's kind of where I live, honestly. So that's probably where my enjoyment of spreadsheets come from. But constant, I got to track a lot of data for that and everything. Hi. And so I, have done a lot in spreadsheets, and that's kind of what led me down this kind of road. And then I've just always kind of enjoyed messing around with code. I do a lot of website updates for us at work, so it's a little bit different, but digging into some of that code, there's a lot of similarity. You've got to learn the new languages, but at the end of the day, a lot of it's pretty similar. Um, so that's kind of just where my love for technology and everything kind of crossed over.
Now, Daniel, how much does it cost to download these apps?
They are completely free.
So I knew that, but I wanted you to say it. I wanted people to know that. I don't know if I feel like you should set up something for people to
in-app
like,
purchases.
click to buy you a cup of coffee or something like that. Do you have anything set up like that that people who really appreciate the work
Can
that you've done?
donate.
Yeah.
Not at the moment, but that's definitely something that I could add if people were interested in it. Honestly, when I created it, I was going through and I was doing a ton of research to make sure, I didn't want to have something running that was going to cost a lot of money because I was like, I don't want to have to fund, hundreds of dollars every year for this app to run. So everything I've done with the app has been set up so that it's essentially free for me to run. It's other than my time to get it set up and working. Um, Everything is free. Now, if maybe, if one day we hit like 20,000 users, it might start costing some money because we're hitting that. But if we hit that many users, then, Updog's got a lot of players at that point. So,
Everybody
uh,
wins, right?
exactly. There's always the route too. If it started to cost money, throw a couple ads in here. I personally hate ads in apps. So that's like the last route I want to go. But, if it's necessary at some point, maybe a little banner ad at the bottom pops up or something, but it'd mostly just be to help cover the cost of the app running.
Yeah. I just think I know people appreciate it. I know locally, people our club users use it and they on your post, I saw a couple of them comment about it and how much they really like the new
Mhm.
changes. So I just think it'd be nice, like, put something out there if
Send
you
a
want to,
$5 donation.
yeah, if you want to buy Daniel a cup of coffee or whatever, like just something like that, because I mean, I'm sure that they appreciate the hard work. We appreciate your hard work in putting it together and providing something additional to motivate our players and engage the community. That's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, I can definitely add something like that.
Yeah. And now I have all my dogs in the app and I'm using it now too. It was
Perfect.
too easy. While you guys were chatting, I was like, well, I'll just add all my dogs. So now I have all my stats on there, and it's very easy to use to click and go to the web page and get back. It took what, maybe 10 seconds to load for the first time and then faster after that. So it was really easy.
Yeah,
And
it updates your stats once a day. I didn't want it to have something where every time you open the app, it pulls from the UpDog website because I didn't want to, be hitting the UpDog website. If somebody closes the
thank
app,
you.
closes and open it, it's not really necessary. The data on the site isn't changing that often. So once a day, every 24 hours, once you open the app, it'll do a refresh of the data. And then every other time you open it for the rest of that day, unless you tell it to, it won't update.
And we're getting more traffic to the website. Thanks.
Exactly.
Marketing. I was like, hey, I was a marketing person. That's funny.
Well, that's actually when it's pulling data, though. When it's pulling data, they're not visiting our site necessarily, right? They're just pulling
Well,
the data from the site.
well, it
Yeah,
could
I don't
be
know
if they're crawling it.
if the bots crawling it and scraping the data actually will help with anything, but there are a bunch of links within it. So like if you click on your recent events and you look at your recent games, you can click the little button that says like, view this game, and it'll take you to where it can show you you got this many catches in zone 4, this many in zone 3. And that is on the website. So there are places where people can click to get to the website. All the game rules are listed in there. So if you're at an event,
Mm.
and especially for newer players, if you're like, ooh, I'm about to run. What was this rule? What do I need to watch out for? You can quickly go in there and click it, and it takes you right to the game rules page for that game. I use it because I am terrible about remembering which side 2 and 3 and 1 and 5 are on and spaced out. And so I have to look at it and remind myself, okay, which pattern am I about to play right now? So it's even helpful for people who have been playing it for a while too.
Yeah, this is
Kat's
really
behind
cool.
me. You can't see her because I have this background on. But Kat, what's your favorite part of the app?
The the
Have her do the thing where she comes up again.
Did you hear her, Daniel?
he already knows.
It's the live fact sheet.
The live fact sheet.
Yeah, that I have to say, I have to give my wife credit for that. That was her idea when we were going through it. She's like, "Why don't you put a button to the live action?" I was like, that's not a bad idea.
It's a real
So
good idea.
that's in there, and I've used it because I know sometimes, finding it on Facebook isn't always the easiest. The best way I had found previously was to just go into my Google Drive where I had opened it before, and you can see the files you've opened recently and just click it from there. But having a button in the app just seems like a super straightforward way to get to it.
Yeah,
There's
that
no
was cool.
excuse now for people not to read it.
Kat just said there's no excuse now for people not to read it.
Right? It's everywhere.
Exactly.
Yep. Well, so Daniel, you got obviously have a good mind for like problem solving and creativity and things like that. As you've been playing or as you've been messing around with the technology side of it, did you see were there any other light bulbs where you're like, hey, I think this should change too, or I wonder if there's a way to do such and such. Any other thoughts or ideas that popped up?
Yeah, mostly stuff that I could add into the app at this point.
Okay.
Um, One of the big things I'm actually working on it, my goal is to hopefully maybe get it out by the beginning of the year. We'll see how that happens, but an update that would add an event finder into the app. So basically it would just take the data from the events page on UpDog, and it would pull in all the events for you to see, but then you could go in and favorite them, or you can mark them as going. And then once you do that, you can click the address, view it in your maps, so it could open it right there. So if you're like, all right, I'm about to head to my event, let me map it. You can
That's
pull
so
it up right
cool.
Nice.
there. I'm gonna mess around. I got to see how much of this I can get to work, but I want to do something where maybe if you're in an area that you're not familiar with, like let's say you're traveling the country and you're over in, like let's say you live in like California and you happen to find yourself on the East Coast and you're like, I wonder if there's any UpDog events nearby. I want to add a map section so you can click it and see any events that are nearby. You can filter it by date. So if you know you're going to be in town for a certain date, you can kind of check that too. And then have it send you notification reminders. So if you favored an event and that event's like, 2 weeks out, be like, don't forget, you've got an event coming up in 2 weeks. And then if you mark it as going, it can be, don't forget about your event coming up this week and stuff like that. Yeah, that'd be awesome. I think anything that we can do to make it like the best companion app for people at an event, post event, anything like that. Any ideas that you guys have too, let me know because I'm open to trying anything. Maybe I get in there and I'm like, this won't work very well.
Right.
But honestly, as far as I've seen, sky's the limit. As long as I can find a way to build it, it should work.
Yeah.
I mean, the features that you have already are just super useful for events and really cool, super easy to use, very functional, works well. I mean, I don't see any real challenges in the way of anybody gleaning benefit from it. It's a free app, super easy
Mhm.
to use, and it pulls all the data that they could possibly want from the Updog site. So go out and download it. It's called DiscDog tracking, right? Let me see,
Yeah.
DiscDog tracking, and DiscDog is one word. So DiscDog tracking. If you look up on either of the app sites, it should come right up, and it has a like a blue rectangle with a frisbee dog jumping up to catch a disc. So if you want
Yep.
to know what that little app looks like, I don't know. This background's not going to let me let me put it in front of the screen. But yeah, go ahead and even if you're not sure if you're going to use it, go ahead and download the app, put your team number in, see if it's useful or not when you get to your next Updog event. Open it up and see if it's helpful for you. But I mean, it definitely seems really cool to me, and I've already got all my dogs in there, so I'm ready to go. Now all I need is an updog around me.
Well, we were talking about updates to the app. Dre was just playing with it and getting all of her
I
teams
was.
ready.
Yep.
Hey, before we let Daniel go, let's do a time
We
warp
need
challenge
one
with
more
them.
minute. One more
Daniel,
minute of
are
your
you familiar
time.
with the time warp challenge? Have you listened?
I am, and I'm ready to get stumped by your three answer question.
All right. Well, I think it's an easy one
It's an
tonight,
easy
so I
one.
think you'll be fine with the 3-1.
All right.
Um,
Are you going
I
first
have a
again, Dre?
couple others that I'm not sure about, but we'll see.
Okay, I'll give it my best shot. Am I allowed to
Yep.
pass if something stumps me and come back to it?
Yes.
Okay,
Ready? Okay, here
ready.
we go. Time warp challenge. Ready?
Am
Set.
I starting, Dre?
You're gonna start because I'm doing the timer. Yeah.
Gotcha. All
Ready,
right.
set, go.
All right, Daniel, would you rather play video games or board games?
Video games.
What's your favorite disc dog disc to throw?
Supersonic.
What's your favorite holiday dessert?
Oreo balls.
Interesting. Name three winter sports.
Skiing, ice skating, and um, bobsled.
Ooh,
Perfect. What's something that you might be doing on a weekend other than disc dogging?
32
Watching
seconds.
football.
Can you do any magic tricks?
I can.
Oh,
Would you rather be hot or cold?
25 seconds.
Cold.
If you had to drop a game from UpDiff, which game would you drop?
Far out because I can't throw far.
All right, how many people do you need for a New Year's Eve get together to turn into a party?
10 seconds.
Two and dogs.
What's the name of the Grinch's dog?
Ooh,
Four,
that
three,
one I'm gonna blank on.
two,
I'm not sure.
one. Time. I'll give you that you get credit whether you knew that or not, because I don't know that anyone knows. Did the Grinch even have a dog?
I didn't even
Of
know it had a
course,
name. He did have a dog.
yeah, of course he had a
It's the
dog. It was
dog
a
that
little
pulls the
dog and like
sled.
the giant sled he was pulling.
Hmm.
I clearly need to go back and watch the Grinch because I have no recollection of him having a dog. But we're not gonna give you any kind of hard time.
Max.
You still finished.
Very
It's
good.
Max.
Very good.
Google
Yeah.
that.
Nope. I'm petting a dog right now. Okay.
That's so random. I had no idea you even had a dog and you knew the name. Excellent work. Well, I'll give you credit for winning the time warp, even though you're just because you remembered that most random, and you still had 4 seconds left when you were guessing. So excellent job on your time warp.
Well,
Favorite holiday dessert?
I have a couple follow-up questions here, Dre.
Okay, me
I
too.
want to know
I
about
got
these
a
Oreo
question.
balls, first of all.
That was my question. I want to know about these Oreo balls.
So it's a pretty simple recipe. I actually just took them to work for our little Thanksgiving dinner that we had. But it's Oreos. You put them in a blender, you grind them up so that they're kind of powdery slash still a few chunks in there. Mix it with some cream cheese, and then you form them into balls and you put them in the fridge. Once they're cooled, you melt some chocolate and you dip it in the chocolate, put it back in the fridge to cool again, and you enjoy.
Holy crap, that sounds delicious.
They're amazing.
It's got both gluten and dairy in it, so I think that's gonna be no fun for me. But I'm gonna really enjoy watching Kat and Jack eat those, and I
You
would make
can
them
All
get
right.
anyway.
gluten-free Oreos, so they
Okay,
work
well, I'm
just as
gonna
well.
make them then. I'm gonna make them because I can definitely find cream cheese that's dairy free. We're gonna
Yeah,
try that, and then we'll post it on the UpDog page. Who can make the best Oreo balls?
Perfect. I can send the recipe too if you want it.
Okay, can I ask the next question, Jack, since you got the first question?
Sure.
I
Do
want
you
to know
have a
about your
follow-up
magic
too?
trick. I
That
want to
was
know
my
about the
second
magic
one.
trick. Same page, buddy. Tell me about your magic trick.
So it's I haven't done them in a long time, but actually it's funny that that was one of the questions because I just did it recently. But it's a card trick. So it's kind of hard to explain it, but it's just a trick with actually there were two of them. One of them I don't really remember anymore, but the first one I do remember and I just did it I think last week.
Okay,
All right.
so I have a
And next
request.
time
Would
we
you?
have you on, Daniel, you got to do the
Yeah.
magic trick for us.
Okay, I can do that.
I was gonna
All right.
say if he's gonna go to UpDiff, we could just have him do it at UpDiff live. Like
That's true. I will be there.
we could have a magic trick night, and we can have one of our activities at night could be who has the best magic trick, Jack.
I bet you, yeah, I was just gonna say, I bet you there's a bunch of people that have little magic
I
tricks,
bet you
that
there
they've
is.
done.
Okay, that's my great one
What?
idea for UpDiff. I'm done now.
Yeah, Kat said maybe this year we do a talent show.
I love that idea.
That could
That'd
be
be
I
a
kind
love
of
good.
it.
cool.
Love it. All right, awesome. We have a plan now. We have an UpDiff talent show idea thanks to our friend here. Thank you, Daniel.
You're
Now
welcome.
we have an UpDiff activity. Thank you for joining us. And honestly, thanks for making the app, man. Thanks for, taking time out of your life, your precious off time after you're done with work to build something that contributes to our games and our players. So thank you very much
Yeah.
for doing that. And I'm excited to use it. I know Jack and Kat are excited to use it. And after this podcast, certainly our other players who haven't heard about it yet are going to be excited to use it. So thanks for your time. And my request is that somewhere on that app, on the main page, you put a button that says buy Daniel a coffee.
I will
And just
add
make
that
it
in
on
the
every
very
page.
next update.
Yeah, and just $5, man. Like hook it to PayPal and just, let everybody send you $5 because I would happily send you $5 for your contribution, probably multiple times. When you're at an event, you're like, hey man, this app really made a difference. I'll buy you a cup of coffee. So, the Updog community has a lot of love and appreciation in it. So if you put that on there, I'm sure you'll get a few cups of coffee heading your way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
I agree.
maybe it'll fund some new features too.
Yeah, right. Ooh, click a
Exactly.
treat. It's like dog
Exactly.
training. Isn't that amazing?
Exactly.
Awesome.
Well, all right, Updoggers. This hopefully you've learned a lot in this episode about the app, and you're gonna head to the App Store and download it. I know it's winter time, and maybe you're not being able to get out to a field as often, but do something inside with the dogs. We hope that you're having fun playing frisbee with the dogs somehow. And in the meantime, until we see you next on an Updog field, Dre, what are we supposed to do?
Be kind to each other.
Especially in this holiday season,
Be kind to each other.
and be kind to your animals. We'll see you next time on The Sweet Spot.
Ready, set, go! Yo, you heard the buzz, heard the word on the street. Up dog challenge, it can't be beat. It ain't just fetch, it's a very special game for the dogs and the people. We all shout its name, whether it's a roller or in the air. My canine companion doesn't really care. We're in the up dog zone now. Got that laser focus, making every throw an epic high flying bonus. What's up, dog? We're on the field, sun in the sky, with my best friend soaring, teaching that just to fly. It's the up dog jingle, so come get in the mix for the ultimate teamwork and all the best tricks. From throw and go to freestyle, we're bringing the heat. We're fun, helpful, and a friendly team that can't be beat. So if you love your pup and you love to see the disc really spin, come on down to Up Dog, where the good times begin.
Yeah, where the good times begin.